Yeah, that was weird. My live just seemed to stop there for a second. I'm not sure why. Not sure what exactly happened there. Um, okay, well, I was recording that first part, so I can cut it. Are you back, Brandon? That was weird. Ah, welcome back, my friend. Alright, so I'm just gonna kind of start from here. I'm pretty sure I can get away with it. Because I don't want to bore you and the other people that are here. Or that were here. That should be coming back, hopefully. So I'm just gonna give it a minute. That was weird that that lost connection like that. Maybe instead of intentionally recording, I'm just gonna do it and then save the last hour of my gameplay or whatever. Oh, the life of a YouTube streamer. Small time YouTube streamer. Alright, it's midnight. I gotta get this done. Okay, and welcome. So, this episode is all about the MegaWatt. A lot of people have actually been using it, and they've been messaging me about it. And you know, it's they've been asking how can I progress through it, right? How can I build it over a period of time? Because that's exactly what I designed this for. Is I designed this so you only have to build it once, and then you never have to build anything else, right? You simply add on to this and it just grows and grows and grows. So I'm going to show you the simplest and easiest way to get power running into your base to start with. And then I'm going to show you, which just simply runs off of one large battery. Um, what am I doing? I've already... I've already explained all of this. I don't have to do that again. Okay, so to build this thing, so the simplest and easiest way to get power into this place is simply by adding an electrical branch. So I've already simulating here that we're getting our power from our roof by placing this root combiner. And even if you only have the one source of power, say one wind turbine, you still want to put this root combiner here and then connect this to that root combiner. If you have two root combiners, even better, because then you can put one up on the roof and then connect it down to here. And I'll show you how that progresses later on. So if you can use two, that's the best. So I'm simulating that here. I've already got two up on the roof that I'm using, and it's going into here. But you're going to have one right into the root combiner. And then using our default black line, we're going to go from there. And we're going to go directly into our electrical branch. Now, from our electrical branch, we can immediately start running power. So I have my lights here, and I'm going to set them up using this yellow line here. So I have my lights that I want to run. And one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the node that I'm connecting it to, and then I'm going to trace that up the wall going straight. And then I'm going to come down to it. And then that's how you can make nice straight lines. So as you can see, I have my light going, but I don't have enough power running through it yet. So for this, I would need 2, 4, 6 power. But one trick and tip with all of your lights, and it also works for sprinklers, is that the last one on the chain only actually ever needs 1 power. So for these 3 lights, we only need 5 power. So we have 5 power. Now with your one wind turbine, you're only ever producing a max of 150, so you would have 144 power left over here, or 143, something like that to play with. In this case, I have 167, because I have one wind turbine and some solar up there. But I have 167 power to play with. And then the next thing we're going to hook up, because we're going to find our turrets, or we're going to get the first one, we're going to BP it, and then we're slowly going to be able to build our turrets. But that's the main other reason that we want our power. So right at about eye level, and just off the wall to the right here, we're going to put our 3-way splitter. And then using our black default line, we're going to connect to our next electrical branch, starting our electrical tree made of electrical branches. And then for our turrets here, I'm just going to use a white line. And just to make things nice on my wall here, I'm just going to go over like this and run it up. So, boom. Now I'm running my turrets, and I just come over here, 31. And then I have 125 power left over. Now, as long as nobody gets into this TC room and blows this up, all of my stuff will continue to run, and I can continue to do this, right? We can continue to add more wind turbines, and we can continue to add more electrical branches to our electrical tree, as long as we have power remaining here. And the higher the power remaining here, the better it is for us, because the less likely it is that everything's going to kick off. So if you can have 50 to 100 extra power as your buffer zone, then you're doing just well. So that's the simplest way to do it. And then if you want to turn these turrets off, by the way, you just come over here and change it to 0 or blank or 2, and confirm it, and that will turn off all of the power to your turrets. And then you just come back here, you turn it back to your 31, and then your turrets go back on. It's the same concept with your lights. If I change this back to blank, it'll turn off all of my lights. However, I am setting a default 2 power out of here, so this one light's on. But if I put it back to 5, then this all runs. So this is the easiest way to set everything up, and you're just going to continue to set everything up off of that. It's when you want to start running into the battery backup system that you're going to start needing other pieces. So for now, what we're going to do, because now we have found a large battery, and we want to make sure that if they do destroy this and they do get into this room, that our batteries take over, so we still have whatever turrets are left. They're still functional and active. So what we're going to do is we're just simply going to add another electrical branch right here, and we want this left side to line up with the bottom there. Or, no, sorry. We want this to be about the middle. So right about here. And then we're going to disconnect from here, which is, again, why it's so important to have this root combiner here. And we're going to change back to our default black. So our default black is our straight power line. And now we're going to connect into this. And I'm going to run this wire a little bit deep for later on. And then we're going to take the left side right here, and we're going to run it into there. Let's try that again. There we go. So now that's on. So now what we have to do is we have to make sure that whatever this, we have to set this electrical branch to be whatever these are, plus 1 for every electrical branch. So if this is 31, so we need 31 plus 5, that's 36, 37, 38. So this needs to be 38. Boom. There we go. So now all of our stuff is running. We have our 31. And the way that you know that this is running properly is that you have no excess power coming out of here, but you have the appropriate amount of power coming out of here. Okay, so now we have to add the battery. So it's as simple as first we're going to need an OR switch. And I'm going to put this a little higher on the wall, off to the left. And then we're going to run our blue line. So we're going to run our blue line from our input B here, so we don't have to move it later on. We're going to run that into this. So now all of the excess power that we're not using is now being sent out into this OR switch. And then if we only have one battery, we're going to continue our blue line. We're going to plug that into our battery. Now our battery is charging. And now is when we need to start running our systems off of OR switches. So I'm going to disconnect this. I'm going to disconnect this. And I'm going to grab my OR switch. And I'm going to stick it up here in the top left-hand corner, like I always do. Then we're going to run our green line, because this is our green battery power. You know, we collected it from wind and solar, so this is green energy. So we're going to take our green line. We're going to run this into our B for battery line. Oh, I actually also forgot. There is a... No, this is right for now. No, it's not. So everything is still running properly, and it goes to the battery. And from... Oh, now we have to build the battery discharge station. That's why. Okay, so, yeah. OR goes there. Okay, I can cut that. Goes into the battery. So now that that goes into the battery, now we got to build our battery out. So our battery out is going to require us to grab... So now we're going to grab one of these. We're going to center it in the wall. A root combiner. Should probably be more specific. And we're going to add a blocker a little higher up. And then we're going to add as many electrical branches there as we have here. So we're going to add those two. Now what we're going to do is we're going to come over here. We're going to add a green line because we have our green energy because it's being created by wind and solar. Run that across the ground here. We're going to connect that into our root combiner. And then from our root combiner into our blocker. Just like that. So now we have our green energy and we have our black direct line energy. So now, in order to run all of our systems, we need to add an OR switch. So I have an OR switch here for this. And then I'm going to put another OR switch up here. And then this one's going to be for my lights. So now, when we go to hook things up, one last thing is we have to add one extra electrical branch to the end of this electrical tree for now. Yeah, you know what? I am gonna take a break. Actually, I can explain this and do this better. I'm gonna do that in here in just a sec. So you guys get to see the behind the scenes. I do this like 2 or 3 times when I do something like this. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1. Don't hit the wall. Don't hit the wall. Yeah, buddy, just give me 1 minute, alright? And I'll be over there. I'd love to check out what you got.
battery backup thing. Let's see if I can mix that with yours. Extend live. I don't know. Anyways, basically it works. I just have to configure it. It would just alternate from left to right when one of these gives it more power in our direction.
Yeah. Let me see. So that's going through there. And then, well, you have to reconfigure these. So what's this?
So watch the
96
break off.
minus this plus 95, so 97. 97.
That worked. Nothing new.
Yeah. And then this needs to be 1, 2, 3. This needs to be default 2.
I think his name's Austin Kalila Games or something.
So that's blocking that. And then when this loses power, so we'll go 98. So now that should have kicked in. But that's not going to kick in because there's no power running through it. So these have to be.
He disconnected both of the blockers, and then he hooks it up after everything's configured.
Yeah, so these have to be swapped. So you need to pick this one up, pick this one up, put this one here, and this one here, and then blue line to your battery over here. Blue line to there, and then we'll go from here to here, and then from here to here, and then here to here. And then we need to go from here to we need a different. Oh boy. Why is that doing that? So when this switches, oh, okay, hold on. Let's do, what was this? This was 97. Okay, so that's good. So now when this turns, yeah, that's blocking that. So then when this battery turns on, which is by that, then this needs to stop working. So this needs to be blocked. When this is receiving power, do we just need to add something in here, I think? I think we just add in,
I'm pretty sure I copied exactly what he had on the table.
well, because what's happening right now is you have, okay, yeah, we'll talk this through. So the battery power is coming out here. It's going into here. It's then being passed through to here, which is then sending all of the power out into your OR switch, except for one extra power, which is activating your set. So that by activating set, you're blocking this blocker. Now the question is that when we lose power here, that
Leave
then
this one
activates this,
switch at 0.
which should then activate this, which should block this blocker. Where's your power coming in?
There are windmills on the other side. I have a
Alright.
windmill to each battery.
Well, I'm wondering why this is switching back and forth. So if we do,
Yeah, I don't remember how I had to, I remember I did this on an official server, and I had to change some stuff to get it to work, but I remember I did get it to work.
okay, so this is sending out the power now. What do I have this set to? 97.
I
So
only have 9 turrets on it, so I definitely didn't max it out nearly as much, but
yeah, so that's going through there, which is then powering this, right? And then it's sending power there, which is then sending power into here. So now if this goes into a low power
We
state,
disconnect this.
well, hold on a sec. I
Drive
think
from
I
this
think it's
supply.
working. I think it's working. So if I do, well, we'll do this. So it's I had it at 98, so we'll put it at 99. So now I should have no power going out there, which means this should be activated, but it's not. I think we have to invert these as well. Sorry, I don't mean to rip apart your...
Oh, okay. So does that dictate? You can dictate when it switches by doing it that way.
Yeah.
Good. This is what I wanted. Yeah.
So we'll do this. Um, and then this, yeah.
I
What
guess what
color
I'm
is this
saying is
wire?
if we maxed
Yellow.
out that trickle system, couldn't we just do more splitters, and that's where the power would come for the batteries. And then you just do this for 16 batteries. Excessive would push the battery power up
Yeah.
way.
Well, to be honest,
But
if
I'm
you
just trying
were...
to be able to go to work and sleep without like turrets turning off.
Right. Okay, so this is blue. Right? Yeah, we have blue. But
Especially
then
if
what's...
people that I'm playing with are like throwing batteries and windmills on the ground. So a lot of this I can just make for
Oh,
free.
I did this wrong. I was wondering why that didn't line up. So this goes here, then here, then here, then here, then here, then here. That's better. And then we have the blue line. Yep, blue line there to there, and then there to there to there to there to there. And then what do we got? We got blue. Let's do orange for this battery just to tell them apart. Um, um, still flashing. Why are you flashing? You need what? 99? 98? Okay. So that is now blocking this. So now if we do 100, why is this still blocked? This should take over. Do we have one here? We're not even getting any power from this battery. Oh, the battery's dead.
Oh, how does that work? They got windmills on them.
Yeah, you're only getting 69, but it's max outputting 100. Oh, hold on. We gotta. Okay, so I thought I could save that power there, but because that's unfortunate. But it is what it is. Um. Oh, right. Okay, so this one. I was lost for a second there. This one goes here, I believe. Or is it the bottom one? It's the bottom one. And then this one goes here.
They're both charging at 500.
Active usage. And then this goes back to default 2. This goes back to default 2. Now we're at active usage. Why is this one 8? Probably because it's going through extra through the system. Alright, so now this should be okay. So this is working. So now if we go into um, these aren't needed, but these are for testing purposes. So um, you know what? We'll just do orange for both. Because why not? And then left side out. Okay, so now we're going to simulate that this battery dies. So when this battery dies, this one should take over and unblock this. Okay, everything is working as intended. We have 94 coming out as intended. Then we turn this one off. And that one's open. 94 power. And then this one has battery power again. Shuts it off. 94 power. There you go. But I think there's an even easier way to do this. I think there's an even easier way to do this. Yeah. So switch.
That's kind of what I was thinking, is to just double up on the trickle system, double up on the battery system.
Okay, so we have a switch, and then we need uh, 2 of these. Oh, that's terrible. Ugh. And an OR switch. Let's actually get that down first. And then... No, we don't even need... We don't even need this. So we need... Yeah, so all we actually need is an electrical branch right here. Yeah, so an electrical branch, an OR switch, and then pick this up. And then we go, so we're gonna follow we're gonna follow along this orange line thing. So from there to there, from there to there, and then we're gonna go from there to there. No, we're gonna go there to there. And then we're gonna go there you go. That's the same exact thing. So when you lose power, the other one takes over. And then when you have power again, it takes over.
So you could wire this. So come here. So on this first splitter, if we kind of just do this dictating basically like 2 of these, and you extend that out to double 16 batteries, and then that's where it's kind of like this would come.
Well, the problem is you can't add anything between the root combiners.
Switch that would push it to these root combiners.
The problem is you won't be able to combine enough power because once you start adding these OR switches together after this, right? Then you have to start creating an OR tree, right? Because each one of these batteries is now going to need an extra blocker and a way to block it. So, I mean, this is good for a two battery system like this, or even a four battery system, and then you just put an extra OR switch. But once you start getting into a bigger system, you can't add any more pieces between this and the roof, right? Um, so if you want to get more power out of
So
the
that
system, if you want to get
oh,
more power out of the
anyways.
backup,
Oh, okay, anyways.
um, the mm, I don't.
I just put that last round commander in there to kind of simulate how I would add that. So it doesn't even let me make that connection at all already.
Well, here, if you look at it this way, right? So let me just get a whole bunch of these. We'll get a bunch of these. I'll grab one of these. I'll grab a whole bunch of these. And then I'll grab a bunch of these. Right? So our tree here is 1, 2, 3, 4 layers. Alright, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, and then it goes into um, our blocker. Or actually, no, from our system outside, it goes into an electrical branch. And then from our electrical branch, it goes into our, what's it called? Memory cell. So I need a memory cell. So it goes into a memory cell. And then from the memory cell, it goes into an OR switch. OR switch. And then from the OR switch, it goes into 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 things, and then into the battery, right? So just from the solar panels alone, we have or from the wind turbines, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we have 10. So now, what you choose after this, right? Because this is up to the point of charging all of your batteries. So it takes 10 pieces in a row to charge your batteries. Now, what you choose to do after your batteries is up to you. Now, in my setup, right, you need 1, 2, 3, 4. You need 4. So, um, one,
Fine, so
two,
that's cool.
3, 4, and then you can connect into there. So there's your 15, right? So now, if you're trying to find a way to get more into charging your batteries, right? Then, like when you add the charging batteries, right? So the charging batteries, um, so in order to charge your batteries, this is what allows you to have another 16. So really, all you need is 2 rows, and then you're charging your batteries. Or right, so you're charging your batteries. So then you could do other things with it, this would work, and you could put other things after, but then your stuff won't work while it's on this line. But I guess it wouldn't really matter because if this line gets blown up, I mean, I don't know. Really, at the end of the day, you're splitting hairs, right? Because if anything, if you want to double the lifespan of your batteries, or even maybe you build. No, that won't even work because maybe we can add one more piece onto this. Is there a way we can add one more? Yeah, I don't know. I would really have to sit down and think about how to get all of that in. But yeah, so this works, but this is basically the same exact thing, right? Almost. You would have to switch these two around though. Yeah, you would have to switch these two around. So it would have to be uh, that there. Yeah. But then you're always max drawing because you would have to have this set to be 100, to be the full 100. So you would always be max drawing off of that whatever battery is being used. Um, Actually, no, because you need one less power, so you would need. Well, you would actually need 99, but because we're using that switch there, it's 98. So we need one. We need one extra power there. There we go. Now we're blocking that battery, and then as soon as this um, no longer is able to supply this, that means it won't be able to supply this, which means it'll unblock that. And then as soon as this battery is charged or is capable of charging, it'll turn back on, reblocking this, turning off that battery. So that'll switch between the two batteries for you. But the only reason, now, I mean, hear me out with this, right? If if you have two large batteries, that should mean that you're capable of running 200 power worth of stuff, right? So both of your batteries, if they're being used, should both be discharging at 100 anyway. So both of your batteries should always be in use at the exact same time all the time. Kind of understand what I'm getting at?
Um, yeah, I guess right now I'm on the base that we have built on the. Yeah.
Because I mean, at the end of the day, it's it's about how much power that you can throw into these things, right? So if you want to extend the lifetime of these things indefinitely, right, then you have to put in at least 125 power continuous all the time if they're draining at 100. If you want to double the lifespan, right, then you need to put in, what is it, like a 60, 63? You got to be putting in at least 63 power at any given time. If this is outputting at 100, you have to be putting in 63, and that's going to um, give you your battery time and a half, I think, because you would be giving it half as much power as
If I
it's
could
using.
get the trickle system to 60 power per battery, that would be the same thing.
Yeah, essentially. 'Cause that would, if you get it to 62 and a half, so 63 power, is essentially giving it 50 power. So your 4-hour battery will turn to a 6-hour battery. And then if you wanted to, say, double the lifespan of your battery, how would I even calculate that? Yeah, you're either pretty much going to give it 62 and a half, and then I guess it would be
You just have to
probably
do
around,
125 per battery, right?
yeah. I'm thinking if you give it around, if you give it 100, you should almost double the lifespan of your battery. And then 125, you'll have indefinite power still. So if you're going directly into a battery and charging it, and then discharging it at 100, you need 125. If you're just doing the direct line system like this, then you only need as much power as you need. So if you have 500 power that you need, then for this you would need 500 power. If you need 500 power and you're running it directly onto a battery, then you need 625 power.
Okay.
So you need more power if you're running it into a battery. So you would actually need 12 turbines for um, your direct line system, and then you would need 16 turbines. Is it 16? Yeah, you would need the then 16 turbines to power this. So it's a lot more to power that than. But honestly, if this is in your core, right, and they've already destroyed your core, if it takes you longer than 4 hours to win your base back, you've lost your base, in my opinion. I love the way you got all this set up. I love this and this, but this drives me nuts. The fact that this top left and this middle left one should be here drives me crazy. And that this is 4 and this is 5. But other than that, man, I'm
That's too
mighty
bad.
impressed. But that's just my OCD talking.
So, uh, it becomes a max root combiner issue if I mix this with this, right? There's
Yeah,
too many circuits in between.
right. Well, the thing is that If you look on here, right? If you look on our wall,
So it's not just 15 of these, it's 15 pieces.
yeah. So if you look on our wall here, let me grab another wire tool, just to make this. I'm gonna make this a lot easier, right? So we have red lines. So we go from here to here, here to here, here to here, here to here, and then here to here, and then here to here. And then we're going to go black line. That goes from here to here, here to here, here to here. And then it would go from our battery from there to there. I don't like that. Why didn't that? Oh, because it won't. Okay, so the batteries don't count. Or maybe they do count. I'm not sure. Okay, so if you follow this to here, and then from there to here, right, you have 15 components. However, your battery backup system, right, starts here. So you could theoretically have another, well, you have, what, one, hold on a second. What we'll do is we'll put down one of these, and then power out into here. Grab some. Turn that on. Okay, so everything is good there, right? But now, if I was to add, I could have swore I just. Oh, I'm still making, still making low grade. So now, if I get rid of this and I add this here, and then this to here, we hit our max depth. Right? It's too much. So we'll get rid of this. We'll get rid of this. We'll put this back here, and then we can turn this off. So now this is complete. So now our battery backup system is completely separate. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's 8 pieces there. So we can go 9, 10, 11, 11, and then we go yeah, and then we do 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1. And then we go 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, so how many did we say this was? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So we can do one more row. So that's 16. So we can do 32. So you can have up to 64 different things, I think. And the way we're going to try test that is by doing this. And we're good. Now let's see what happens if we add an extra one. Short circuit. There you go. So that's what? 2, 4, 8, 16, 32. So you can have up to 64 things. 64 solar. uh, oh. No, that won't, that would short circuit it anyway. Four, 8, 16, 32. Yeah, so 64. Fuck. really fucking does, bro. It's alright though. I run my own business, so I don't really have to be up and out of my house until like 9:30 in the morning anyway, so it's pretty nice. Come home when I want. Alright, I gotta do this. Okay, gotta film this video. Everything that I need is there. Get rid of all of this stuff. Get rid of everything I don't need. Yeah, man, no problem. Just make sure you go around and take pictures of everything, so then that way you remember. But you also have my VOD that you can always revert to should you need to. But yeah, it was great seeing you, buddy. And if you're not still here by the time I'm done this, well, thanks for hanging out. And yeah, already did. Perfect. Good. I'm glad. But yeah, I'm gonna film this, so if I'm not speaking to you, I'm sorry. But I gotta get this done. And then I've got two videos I can post. I can post my Tesla video, and I can post this one. So hopefully that'll gain me some views and some subscribers, some traction. Anyway, okay, let's do this. Have a good night, man. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, and this episode is all about the MegaWatt. A lot of people using it. A lot of people have been asking me about it, and so I figured I would show you guys how I would use it throughout a wipe, starting with no BPs, basically, or my tier 1 BPs, and then all the way up to full born, like all the batteries. So I'm going to do. I'm going to start off with a quick build just to get your power going, get you guys operating, and then I'm going to incorporate the battery backup system. And then we will incorporate the low power backup system, or the low power battery backup booster, I guess. And then I'm going to show you the fully upgraded version and how to get everything spaced out really quick. I've actually been with one of my subscribers. He actually just built this here in the test server for himself. So we'll go run over and check it out, his build for the very end. Yeah, so again, this is a very modular design. It's designed to grow over the course of a wipe with you. If you have the capability and the abilities and all the BPs to build everything at once, go for it. If not, then I'm going to show you exactly how to get this all built out properly throughout the course of a wipe. So, without further ado, let's start right here. At the end, this is all of the pieces that you're going to need to build the whole thing. It is divided into four different sections. Well, yeah, four different sections. And then we have two backup batteries, and then we have two windmills for our backup. In total, this thing's going to need a minimum of 12, but a maximum of 16 wind turbines for the direct drive power system right here. And it's going to need a maximum of 4 wind turbines here, bringing you a total of a maximum of 20 wind turbines. Now, if you want to add a bunch of extra power here to your battery backup system, other than just the 4 wind turbines, because 20 wind turbines is a lot, you can add up to 64 different items or 64 different power sources onto your battery backup system. It's basically a separate unit, but it all fits together into one. So, yeah. minimum of 12 turrets, maximum of 16 at the full build. And you're gonna have 16. Um, you're gonna have 16 batteries, and then you're gonna have room for charging two raid batteries as well. So this is pretty much everything that you need right here, minus the batteries and the wind turbines, and obviously all the extra root combiners for your um, battery backup system. But this is everything that you need for the megawatt. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a few pieces from here to start off with, and this is just going to get our power running. So chances are at this point, you've found yourself a large battery and you found yourself a wind turbine. You're not going to be setting up power early in wipe. You're going to be getting a little bit into wipe. So chances are you've already found a large battery and a wind turbine. So you're going to come over to your level 1 workbench, and these are your four main ones that you're going to need to start off with. And then if you really want to get a head start on this build, you can also add and grab this OR switch for really cheap. But these five right here, I would say, are the ones that you need off your tier 1. And a ceiling light never hurts because, you know, getting light in your base is really important. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to set up our wind turbine as high as we can. Um, Hopefully at this point you've already built yourself most of your regular base, so you'll be able to throw up your wind turbine. Um, and you're going to have a root combiner down here in your TC room. By the way, this first part you want to build in your TC room in the safest part of your base. So you're going to bring this down here, and this is purely for convenience and also to keep it nice and safe, because this is where all of your power is collected and combined, right? So we want to keep this nice and safe. So we're going to put this down here. We're going to put it near the TC. And then we're going to grab an electrical branch. So this electrical branch right here, we're actually going to use two of them. So the first one is going to go center in the wall, about halfway up. And then the next one is going to go up here to your left, and you're going to try and line it up with your TC. This is what I recommend. And then you're going to put another one beside it. Now you can build out, you can add more if you want, but this is just the starter. So now we're going to take our combined power, even if we only are using one wind turbine. We're going to take that combined power, using our default straight line power. We're going to kind of dip a little farther underneath our electrical branch here. And then from this left side here, we're going to go up here. And then from the right side here, we're going to go into here. Now, we can already start hooking up our power sources and hooking up whatever we want. So in this case, I have lights. I want to get lights going for my guys. My lights are always yellow in these videos, so I'm going to put it to yellow. We're going to run that right in. So now I have my one light set up. However, I'm going to need more power. So when it comes to lights, they need 2 power each, except for the last light on any string. That light only needs 1. So we need 5 power in order to run these lights. So we're going to put in 5 here. And then over here, we're going to put in that 5 plus 1, because we need to account for the electrical branch. So we're going to put in 6. And then there we go. So we can continue to do this so long as we have remaining power left over, right? So we have 134 remaining power left over. So in this case, we found a couple turrets. I want to set up some turrets, so I'm going to do that. So again, I'm going to find the center, and I'm going to pick a spot relatively high up on the wall, and I'm going to put down this. And then from our second electrical branch, we're going to branch out. And for my turrets, I'm going to put them as red. So we got red turrets. Now our turrets are going to need 31 power. Plus the electrical branch is 32, so we're going to add 32 on here, which makes 38. So now we have our 31 coming in here, so this uses 1 plus our 30, that's our 31. And then to know we did it right, we have no extra power coming out here. Now this is totally fine. We can continue to do this as long as we want, so long as we have remaining power. So we have 60 extra power, we can continue to do this. And then if we wanted, we could just add more wind turbines, connect it to this root combiner, and just keep going. You want to have, in my opinion, the higher this number is, the less likely you are to run out of power and your things are going to turn off. So I like to have a buffer of about 50 to 100, especially on my wind turbines, and that's typically enough. The more wind turbines you have, the larger the buffer you want. So we have no extra power out there. We have 60 extra power, so we're not likely to run out of power. So if you wanted to just use this as your power setup, you could do that, and that would be completely fine. Just keep adding electrical branches to your electrical tree. However, for me, that's not good enough. We need to do better. So we're going to start adding our battery backup system into this. Now, in order to do that, we are going to want to come over here, and we're going to want to unlock our OR switches. These are going to be important. So we're going to start charging our batteries. And in order to charge our batteries, we're going to grab a three-way splitter, and we're going to find a center part of the wall, relatively high. And then we're going to put our OR switch beside it. Now, when it comes to charging our batteries, I like to use a blue line, blue battery line, right? So we're going to come over here. And we're also going to add an extra electrical branch here on the end. So from our right part here, we're going to take our blue battery line. Yeah, whatever. Take our blue battery line. And it doesn't really matter what side we connect it to right now, but we're going to connect it up. I like B for blue. So now we're charging our battery. So whatever leftover power is no longer being wasted. Whatever we don't need, it's no longer being wasted. It is now being sent over into our battery. But now we need a way in order to use that battery power. So now we're going to use that battery power. So we're going to come over here, put these away. So this way you can see what pieces I've used throughout. So we've got our direct line system hooked up. We've got our battery charging system. Now we need to use that battery power. And this is also why it's important that we have our OR switches as well. So we're going to use that battery power, and in order to do that, we're going to need a couple of things. The first thing we're going to need to do is we're going to need to take one electrical branch, and we're going to need to, well, first we're going to need to take our blocker, and we're going to place it relatively high, but not too high. And then underneath it, we're going to put an electrical branch, or a root combiner. So from our battery, we're going to use green, because this is all green energy. We collected it from our solar panel and our wind turbines, so this is all green energy. So we're going to connect it together, connect it into here, and now our battery system is connected. The only thing we have to do now is we have to go back to this first electrical branch that we hooked up. And this is just simply going to be a placeholder for now. So we're going to add 2 extra power into here. So we're going to be up to 40. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take an orange line. We're going to run our orange line over here. And we're going to use that to block our blocker. So while we have enough power to run everything, because this is at the end of the line, we have just enough power to send 1 power out, and that's blocking our blocker, preventing our battery power from coming out. So now at this point, we have to go to whatever system we hooked up, and we now have to connect an OR switch to it. So that's why I put this one for my turrets, my first turret system up high. And again, I want to keep, these are my most important turrets. They're going to be closest to the core, so I want to keep them in my core, this in my core. So I'm going to put this up nice and high beside it. And then what I'm going to do is now I'm still going to use the same red line. Just like that. However, we now have to rehook it up. So our A side of our OR switches is always going to be our direct power system, or A for always on. So this light should always be on. We're now running our turrets again. Everything is good. And now to connect it to our battery system, our green, because it's our green energy. Oh, sorry, missed one more step. So, however many electrical branches are here, right, minus this last one. So, however many are here minus this last one has to be set up here. So, we're going to go grab these electrical branches out of here. And we're going to set them up here, just like we do the other ones. So 1, 2, that's all we have set up. We're going to take our green line. Just like that. So now we have our red line running into there. because that's running our turrets. And now we'll take, because it's our second line. Remember, the turrets here are in the second electrical branch. So from our second electrical branch, um, yeah, we're gonna stay on the green line. And we're gonna hook that up. So now both our red and green lines are running into that. So our red line is what's going to run it basically 100% of the time. But if for whatever reason this no longer has enough power to run everything, it's then going to switch over there. And I'm going to simulate that now by removing our 40 power and only giving us 2 power. Ooh. Actually, you know what? I will do 3 power. Yep, so I at least have a light. Okay, so we're still simulating. So this is no longer being blocked. So now this has enough power. And then this is going to need 5. Alright, so this now has enough power to run all of our stuff. It's going to be running our lights, which we also have to connect into our system. So what I can do is, so I don't have that delay, is I'm going to put this here. And then I'm going to run my green line again. Green line over there. And now, because everything is running on battery power, I should be able to disconnect this. There we go. Now it's running off of battery power. So if I can completely get rid of all of this. Okay, well I can't go lower than 2. So I can't, wait. How does that still, 2? That should be sending out 1. Oh, because it's running on battery power. What? Yeah, anyway. But you can see it working here, right? So if I do 0, right? Then I do 31. Doesn't change anything. But if I add it on here, if I give back my 40, and I change this back to the 5 that it should be, then I can lower this. And I still get just the 1 power, but it's not enough to run your turrets. Alright, so that 1 is enough to run the 1 light. But anyway, so that's how you're doing it. When this runs into low power, the battery system is taking over, just like that. And then when your power comes back, it takes over. And why does this need 6 power now? Oh, because it's on the branch. I keep forgetting that these take a power. There we go. So low power mode, everything switches. High power mode, everything's good. Everything switches back. So that's the simplest way to do it. And then for a simple expansion, let's say now you have 3 batteries and you want to start running more power out of everything. And you've added some wind turbines. So in order to do the wind turbines, let's say you have 1 wind turbine up there, and now you want to increase it to 4, right? So we have our 1 downstairs, so we're going to just do this. And then these 2 right here are going to connect there, and then these 2 are going to connect to your 4 wind turbines. And then we're going to connect these to our battery, so B for blue. There we go. Now we're charging all 3 batteries with whatever excess power is being sent out. So in this case, 46. Then it's being evenly distributed amongst them. And then in order to hook these 2 batteries in, I'm just going to add that in like that. And then we're going to disconnect this one, green. There you go. Now you've got 3 hooked up, 3 charging, 3 discharging. Or I mean 3 discharging, 3 charging, and then 3 still on your main drive system. So that's how you do 3 batteries. Now let's say you want to get 6 batteries hooked up to this thing. Right? Well, now we're going to do the same thing, except we're going to disconnect these. Now we got to disconnect these. And then we're going to add 2 more of these. Just like that. I'm going to go back to our blue. And then you connect those up to your batteries. And then when you're ready to fully upgrade, You do that. Now, actually, thinking about it, I think the smarter thing would to do would to actually be to put your OR switch up here, and then put these in, or start from down here. Start in a corner, right? So then that way you don't have to disconnect these batteries. All right. So yeah. So put this one down, and then connect your batteries to it. And then when you have to do 6 batteries, right, you put these 2 down, and then you connect everything into it. And then when you do 9 batteries, you have these 3, right? And then when you add more, you just, you always start on the bottom. Yeah, that makes sense. Now, when you're starting here, it would actually be make sense to do the exact same thing. So eventually, what this thing is going to look like. And then, uh, oh, come on. You make me move every one, aren't you? Ah, but anyway, you get the idea. Right, so you're just going to extend onto that, and that's all you need to do. And then for this, that's all you need to do. That's for your battery charging. And then for this, um, this is where things take a little bit of a turn. So once you get to about 9 batteries, that's when you're going to start to want to get into having a spare wind turbine for your battery system. So you're actually going to want to add one of these. And then this is going to connect to those 2 extra wind turbines that you're going to have at the end. So for every 9, um, for every 9 batteries that you have, so 8 on your system, and then 1 spare for um, your 1 spare for your RAID battery. You're going to want to um, hook up one of these downstairs, and then again create your tree upstairs. So we're going to take the blue line. We are on the blue line. So this one's going to go into A. This is your always on. These are the ones that are always helping you for your always on drain. Right, and then I'll show you how this extends out later in just a minute. But then we have a few things that we have to add over here. Okay, so what we have to add over here is we have to add this 3-way or this splitter. And then we have to add this memory cell. There we go. See, we just ran out of power, so that thing took over. So now we're going to go for orange. Orange is utility. Now we're going to take this orange. And we're going to now replace this orange line from the blocker. So we're replacing that one. And then we're creating 2 yellow lines. So like that. We're now going to clear that. Back to our default black. Oh, actually, we didn't need to clear that. So go back to there. I'm going to go from here. This is set to 4. Here we go. No. I thought something was wrong there. Doing. Yeah. There we go. So yeah, so this is what was this? This was supposed to be 31, but it's 32 now because we have to add the switch. So that's 32. That's 6. So that's 38, 39, 40, 41. There we go. We got 41 power. And then we've got 75 power going into our splitter. Again, we still want to have that overage, the 50 to 100, so then that way we pretty much guarantee that this thing never shuts off. We're getting our 32 power out there. We're getting our 6 power out there. Everything is good. And then should we run into our low power state, which in this case I simulate by overpowering it, because if we get into a low power state, then this will turn off. We won't have enough power for this. So then this will switch over. And then now we finally take this remaining power and we bring this back over to our remaining um, B side on our OR switch. So now while we're in our low power state, our batteries are being charged from our low power. So let's just say, because we're getting 140 power right now, let's just say this thing requires 145 power. All right, so we don't have that 145 power. We're in a low power state. So what we're doing is we're sending all of that power into our battery. And then as soon as that reaches that 145 that we need, plus the 4 that we need for this, and the 1 that we need for this. So once we have 150 power, it's then going to send that power out here. So now we have 7. So now we're in our excess. However, if you have this all set up properly, then you should always be within the 50 to 100 range right here. And then once it's all fully set up, then you never have to worry about it. So, but as you see here, we just went into the low power state. So now we're sending 144 power to our batteries while they're being discharged at the same time. And now that we're gaining enough power, we're sending all of that 144 out, and then an excess power of 4. So, however, we should be having, so in this case, if I only have 145 power, I want to be using 100 of it. Right, so then that way I can keep my 50 buffer, so I don't have to worry about this turning off. And then also at this point, I should be gaining power from here, which is helping the drain on these batteries. So that's how you go from small to big. You just start off with these electrical splitters, and then you add your battery charge and discharge station using your OR switches. And then at the very end, you can add in this. If you build it all at once, it's a lot easier. Now, if you're wondering what it looks like to have as many wind turbines as you need to run this thing, and why it's already basically as big as you're going to want or can get, it's because look at this. Like, it's just nuts. And then, so this is what it looks like when it's all said and done. Right? He has everything minus that. So this is what it looks like when it's all said and done. He has all of these wind turbines all connected right here into that same tree that I was talking to you about. So you start here, and you add these ones, or you start at the bottom and then work your way up. But always make sure you have this one in your core. All right, here's the direct drive system. He's already got this all set up. And then he's got his electrical trees. He's missing one here, though. And then this is all of his power being combined into all of his batteries into one. Here's his battery charging, so he's charging all of his batteries. And then this was just some experimenting we were doing. But it really, at the end of the day, looks like this. So what's happening is we're going to say this is a wind turbine. So this is one of the restrictions you have when combining power using root combiners, is the fact that you can only have 15 things in a row. So if you were to add one more thing into this, it wouldn't work. So what we're doing is this right here is 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And it's the same thing here for our wind turbines. It's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And then it's got to pass through our direct drive system or low battery system. It's then got to pass through all of these, our splitters, which is right here. So it's there to there to there to there. And then it's got to go through the battery. And then it's got to go through another set of root combiners into your blocker, right? So, which is these right here. So right here, 1, 2, 3. So if you count all of these, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yeah, and then this makes 15. So if I was to put a root combiner here, and then disconnect this, connect it to here, we're working. But if we connect that to here, all of a sudden now we're max depth. Alright, so that's why it's very important that you make these trees the way that you're supposed to. And then once you've reached your 9, once you've reached your 9 batteries, that's when you want to add in your secondary battery backup system batteries. Now, really, you only need up to 4 wind turbines, which is these 3 pieces right here. But if you run out of space for wind turbines and you still want to add excess power into it, because just this 4 isn't enough for you, then you can add all the way up. If you see here, this is 16. You can add up to all the way up to 32 branches on the bottom here, meaning you can have up to 64 different things hooked up. Because we're going from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So you can have 32 branches there hooking up 64 different solar panels, so you can completely cover your whole base in solar panels. So this is the thing that took me so long to figure out, trying to find a way to combine all of that power from those batteries into one, which is why it's very important that you follow these electrical trees that we have set up here. So yeah, that's how to run and operate the MegaWatt core from start to finish, from early wipe to end game wipe. Big shout out to Dirt Biker Dad here. He was a huge help in getting all of this set up. And actually, here as a bonus for you guys, because we didn't even check this out, Dirt Bike. We gotta go over here and check this out. Um, we have our wind turbines set up here. So we have different spacings for our turbines, and we're trying to see if being surrounded makes a difference, if being on the end makes a difference, if having extra spaces makes a difference. So one of the things we can check here is our battery capacity. So we have a 11.5, 11.6, 11.7, and 12. So there was a 100-point difference between each one of these. And it seems like the one on the end here did the worst, but I'm also guessing that's because it's against the mountain. But clearly this one on the end is head and shoulders above the rest. So this is almost 11.8. By the time I get here, that'll be 11.8. Yeah, so this is already 300. So you want to have at least a 4 gap between your wind turbines. At least a 4 gap. And right now we're only getting in 92 power because these are only 4 stories off the ground. So you want to at least to have 4-story gap. So if you're looking to make a perfect farm for all of this, the way he's kind of tried to do it over here, you're going to need to make a 25 by 20 square. Now you can use that as your China wall, you can use that as whatever you want, and then that's going to give you room for 16 turrets, because it'll be 5, 10, or 14 turrets, sorry. And then you have to find room for 6 turrets, or turbines, sorry, on your base. Turbines, ba ba ba. Yeah, so you'll have 14 on the perimeter on the China wall if you make a 25 by 20 square, and then you'll have to find room for 6 turbines on your base, which actually sounds a little bit more reasonable, to be honest. So yeah, that's the perfect way of running the MegaWatt core, start to finish, uh, early BP to late BP. Again, very special thanks to Dirt Biker Dad here. He was my dude. Bow down to you, my friend. Bow down to you. So I'll leave you guys with this. We'll stand over here. We'll look at his build over here for a minute, for another minute, just so you guys can have an idea of the full build one more time in this video. Although I would refer you guys back to the original MegaWatt video. Sorry, that was bugging me. But yeah, man, this guy's got his power down, let me tell you. So that's what all the spacing looks like. So, yeah, that's how power works in this game, guys. And batteries don't count, by the way, between these things. Batteries don't count. Peace! Like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Bye. Alright, buddy. That's going to be, I think, it for me for tonight.
Appreciate your time, bro.
Yeah, man,
Thank you.
yeah, I appreciate everything too, and it's perfect example having everything built for me there, and even I learned something tonight just from your questions, so I appreciate it.
Yeah, perfect, man. I'll see you around.
Yeah, man, for sure.
Trying this unofficial, so definitely trying to max out like everything possible.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, I see so many people using like all these electrical branches, and they have all that spaghetti wiring, and I'm running over here like I have to run over here to talk to you. But like I see so much wasted power and so many wasted resources going into building things. Like, you saw how many things were in that chest. Like, there was barely anything in there. You know what I mean? Like, there's only this, and you can run 15, 16, 2,000 plus power off of this thing, no problem. I fucking love it. But yeah, that's it for me, boys. Thanks for watching the live stream. Appreciate everybody who stopped by. Um, and if you guys could, please like, subscribe, share these videos for me. It will really help me out. I'm really trying to get to 1,000 subscribers before winter here, so I can at least monetize a little bit to help me pay for the servers that I'm going to be renting. Because I am going to be renting one of the upgraded servers. I want full control over it. I have plenty of ideas. It's going to be titled 9 to 5 Workers United. Um, because it's going to be made for workers, for people who have day jobs, and go to work, go to school, stuff like that, and then crazy weekends. And I've got lots of ideas. I'll talk to you guys about that later on my next Rust stream. But for now, this is it. I've got some video editing to do. I'll put these videos out for you guys to watch later. But for now, yep. Good night, guys. Peace out. Later.